was said in such a low tone that Dee Dee thought Mika wasn't able to hear her words, but Mika did hear what Dee Dee said. The words just weren't clear enough to make out fully. "I couldn't hear what you just said, Dee Dee." Dee Dee cracked a smile. The doorbell rang just when Dee Dee was about to speak, which made her pause. Damn, who could that be? Dee Dee asked no one in particular. "What did you say, Dee Dee?" Mika asked, understanding nothing. "Listen, Mika, somebody's at the door. I gotta go. Bye," Dee Dee said, not giving Mika a second thought. "But Dee Dee!" And that was about all Mika got to say before she heard the dial tone in her ear. "That little bitch! Who the fuck does she think she is hanging up in my face?" Mika was pissed. She quickly pushed redial, but before the phone began to ring, she hung up and cussed out loud. "Funky bitch, Jay! Where are you when I need some money?" Dee Dee ran down the steps to the door and peered through the peephole. Pratt was on the other side, nervously looking around. He had never picked Dee Dee up at her house before, but Dee Dee called him earlier so he could take her to the mall. Dee Dee wasn't dressed at all, so she was far from being ready. But when her eyes caught a glimpse of Pratt in that gray Fat Farm velour sweatsuit with all his jewels caressing his body, she instantly became horny. Horny enough to fuck, which they hadn't done yet. She felt her nipples get hard just thinking about doing the nasty. Mainly Dee Dee preferred a good lick-em-down low job from a nigga, which she would always get off the rip if she decided to let a nigga sample her goodies. Dee Dee opened the door and stood right in front of Pratt. She then dropped the towel, exposing her honey-coated brown skin, slim waist, and hairy, bushy, down-low special that she chose to call Tasty. Pratt didn't know what to do as he stood there in shock, but Dee Dee was far too mature to play games when she wanted something. Knowing what she wanted was just a little something that she picked up from her big brothers. "You want to stay there and look like a fool, or come in and satisfy me?" she asked, as she gave him a wink. Even though she had his mouth watering and his dick rock hard as she stood there butt-ass naked in the doorway, the thought of her brothers pulling up made Pratt second-guess the invitation. "Yo, Dee Dee, what about your brothers? I ain't trying to trip with those cats," he said, still eyeballing her body. "Pratt, is you a man or a mouse? 'Cause here I am basically throwing my pussy at you, and you acting scared as hell." Those words were strong and made him think. He threw the notion out of his head about her brothers and decided on trying to do the best impression of the porn star, Mr. Marcus, that he could with her fine ass. "Only one shot, 'cause I may not get a second chance," he thought. He stepped in and closed the front door, thinking he was about to finally get the pussy. He moved in to give her a kiss, but she pushed him back, stalling him and his hormones. "Hold on for a sec. First of all, I gotta get mines off the top, Pratt. Now you handle up down there," she hinted as she pointed to Tasty. "Then you know what's poppin'." Pratt liked the way Dee Dee talked, all nasty and shit, but what he didn't like was the strong words she chose to use. To Pratt, he felt only a nigga should talk like that, but he gave Dee Dee her props 'cause she was like no other female he had ever messed around with. He really liked Dee Dee just because of how she represented herself. No gimmicks, always keeping it real, and always saying what was on her mind. Pratt led Dee Dee's naked body over to the couch and then motioned for her to sit down. She sat down